We have another Super Cider Presents, but this time we're going to be doing it a little bit different. We're having a little debate on, are there more eyes or are there more legs on planet Earth? I believe Jackson and Tyler are both on Team Legs, correct? And Dustin right now, he is undecided.
It's hard though.
Yeah, I'll win you over.
We're Team Eyes.
You're Team Eyes? Yeah,
Yes.
I'm Team Legs.
Right.
You guys Team Eyes. Undecided. Probably going to go with Team Legs because
We'll see.
he'll learn the facts soon.
We'll
All right,
see.
so what's your main reason of Team Eyes?
Team Eye. Okay, well, think about it here. The ocean is the biggest thing. Like, think about it. Fish don't have legs. Okay? Okay, if you're going to say jellyfish have legs, those aren't legs, those are tentacles, they don't count. Octopus, they're not legs, they're tentacles, they don't count. Okay? So, think of all the eyes in the ocean.
Okay.
There's even eyes we don't even know about in the ocean.
What about crabs
Crabs, they have eyes.
and more legs?
Yeah, but there's
They're
no
in the
way.
ocean.
There's not more crabs than there's fish in the
It's
ocean.
true. But most of the ocean, like the big, deep part,
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine a large percentage of that is just open with not much stuff in it.
There's a lot of fish.
There's a lot of fish that we
I
haven't
know.
even discovered.
I
They
know.
keep finding new fish.
Let's see.
Yep. Then
I
you
have
have.
to say, does anybody understand how important octopus are?
He's saying that octopuses don't have legs.
They don't.
Octopus.
Octopi.
Hey, take
Octopi.
a quick guess how many fish are in the ocean.
At least 75.
75.
Yeah.
25 billion.
Try 3.5 trillion.
3.5
Discovered.
trillion?
Yeah.
Discovered.
Different species or just fish?
Just an estimated how many fish are in the ocean.
That's
Okay.
fish. That's not considered
So-
octopi.
Yeah.
I'm saying we're
Hold on,
talking about.
Douglas. So we have a nice little fact that I looked up earlier.
Oh, goodness.
There is 15 quadrillion ants on planet Earth.
That's a lot of ants. That's a lot of ants.
They have 6 legs, 2 eyes.
They still have eyes.
6 legs, 2 eyes.
If they didn't have eyes, it'd be different, but they all have eyes.
What about
That's-
snakes? How many
That
snakes
is
are on planet
1
Earth?
million billion is quadrillion.
Right.
There's 15,
Okay. They all have eyes.
which is substantially
So the ocean
larger.
Still
Then the
cancels
ocean.
out those legs.
What about
What
like
do you mean?
flies?
How does that cancel out the legs?
What about flies?
They have like 12 eyes.
a ton of
Yeah.
eyes.
No, they don't. They only have 2. They're compound eyes, though.
It's
They're considered only 2.
I don't know about that.
I looked it
So is
up.
that in your research
That-
too?
It was because that was a big thing when Jackson and I were talking last night about it. I was like, now if flies and stuff like that, if those are considered 2 eyes or 1,000 eyes, that could drastically change my ways on it.
How many eyes
flies?
does a spider have?
8.
Oh, so those are canceled out.
Basically.
Yeah, they're essentially
Same with
canceled out.
humans,
Yep.
canceled
basically.
out.
Yep.
So
But
your
ants, you
your
have
argument is
4.
ants, and our argument is fish, but there's more ants
Then
than
you
fish.
have like centipedes, and there has to be way more insects than there are fish on the
Are
planet.
those considered legs?
Yeah,
I think they're just little sticks.
they're definitely legs.
What about like cameras?
Think
Would those
about
be
s-
considered eyes?
Yes.
Yeah, but then you would have tables
with legs.
have
Yeah.
4 legs.
Needles with
that
eyes.
chair has like 5 legs.
Exactly.
All right, yeah, those don't count. I don't think.
Those don't count. Those are considered
So,
legs.
are we counting living things or are we counting?
If we're just going off living things, I'm still team legs.
I'm still.
And if
I
we're
think
not
it's
going
eyes.
off living things, still team legs.
I'm eyes both ways. It's just I don't know. Like I said, the ocean gets me, man. I know that your ant thing is big. I understand that, but
But if we're just talking
There's-
about
there's
ants
gotta be
alone,
like there's got to be fish that have more than one eye, more than 2 eyes. You know.
yeah, I would
Right.
imagine.
Yeah. More than 2 eyes. Okay. Well,
But would you say there's
trillions of fish and
quadrillions means there's over 1,000 more, and there's 15 of them. So then that would be now times it by 4,500 times more ants alone than there are fish in the entire ocean.
What if some of the ants don't have legs?
What if
I've
some of
lost
the
them.
fish don't have eyes?
I checked.
You checked all of the fish for their
that have
eyes?
Yeah.
Hey, what about tadpoles?
Tadpoles?
So for a short little while.
Yep. But there's not a
Just
ton
eyes.
of tadpoles in comparison to
There's a lot of
In-
tadpoles.
I feel like
in comparison to like the amount of ants and centipedes and other insects.
I don't
tree
know, but
bugs,
there's a lot of frogs, and when a frog
all
has
those
box
kids,
elder bugs, dude. I
Listen.
saw like a couple thousand just on my house alone last year.
But there's some
Box
insects that
elder
have
bugs.
more than 2 eyes.
I know, but
So
Rarely is it gonna
I feel like a good
cancel
amount of
out.
those are going to cancel out.
I wouldn't sign up for that class.
what class?
This class. Eyes versus legs? Is that what the debate is?
Yeah,
yeah.
That's impossible.
I know that's why it's just
that's why it's a good debate.
theorizing.
But yeah, there's you can't forget about snakes. I feel like there's more snakes than people think there is. You know?
Is there though?
Yeah,
Like in comparison to insects.
like just in general. You know, you think of
Does
snakes.
a kangaroo have 4 legs?
No, they have 2
Technically,
eggs and 2 arms.
Are they arms? They
They're
hop
arms,
around on
dude.
their.
I
No,
don't
they
know.
walk. They hop on their legs, but they can.
I've
like,
definitely seen them.
Yeah, but
Dogs.
they have 4
cats.
legs. Those are 4 legs, yes.
Ooh.
But they also can't.
Deer.
2 eyes.
They can't
All
walk.
almost a vast majority of mammals have 4 legs,
But
2
instead-
eyes.
Dolphins don't
Horse.
have any legs.
Yeah, but there's a lot more just dogs alone than dolphins, I would imagine.
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, so if we're just going on, I'm on team legs just for insects alone, and that's not even counting mammals.
I don't think a sea turtle has legs. I think they're called something else.
They're like flippers.
Like flippers,
fins.
you know.
Yeah, it's,
fins.
that's huge.
I don't
Turtles
know.
are. There's a lot of turtles.
Are they like put
There's
into
not
the
that many.
fish category though? So
No.
would they be counted as fish?
No,
That
because
is
No,
not
but they
a
do have
fish.
2 eyes,
Yeah.
and I don't know if those are
Dolphins
considered
and
legs.
turtles aren't a part of the fish community.
No.
They just
Sea
share.
turtles can walk on sand.
Yeah, but those,
Isn't a
they kind of
turtle
go.
an amphibian?
Amphibian, yes.
That's what they're not. Not a.
Yeah. Yeah, but still, that means it just means they can live in and out of water, doesn't it? Isn't that what amphibian is?
Those are like
No.
I don't know.
I just think
Amphibious?
I don't know what, like the difference is. I just remember from over the hedge.
Yeah.
He always said,
That's how I
"I'm
remember
not a
it, too."
reptile."
Amphibian, right? That's how I remember it too. But no, I brings up some good points.
Yeah, I don't know how you come to a
The
conclusion.
ants one's a big one.
The ants is
He
huge.
bred that out of nowhere. That's tough.
Yeah, and because I watched a documentary once, and this is why I looked up the fact. There's the same amount of weight in ants
It's people.
as there are people.
I saw that. That's insane.
Yeah, so you can kind of
What's your
imagine
source?
how many
What's your
ants
source?
would take.
Please cite your source.
I don't remember the documentary,
Mm-hmm.
but you can imagine if that's the case, that's a lot of ants to
I need to do some
add
more
up to
research.
the weight of a human.
Tanner cheated,
And there's
so
6. So basically, every single one of those ants, it's 4 surplus legs in that.
Yeah, I suppose. I still can't get over. I mean, I know it's just, you're going back to the same thing, but oceans
We've already
and
talked
lakes.
about it. 3.5 trillion.
Yeah,
if we
but
just go on surplus of 2, like the average fish probably has 2 eyes.
yeah,
If we just went on a surplus of 2 for the ants, you're still way over what the surplus of eyes would be in the ocean.
yeah.
That's why I'm on team legs, because there's just...
Hmm.
And that's not even considering any of the other insects like centipedes and millipedes who have ridiculous amount of legs in comparison to their eyes.
Yeah, you got a point there.
There's got to be some sort of thing that
Right?
we're
Yeah.
not thinking
Hold on.
of.
I'm leaning more towards legs now.
I'm just saying. It's,
There's a lot of
Be on his
legs.
side now.
eyes are. I mean, there is a lot of legs, but you got to think there's a lot of eyes too.
I'm not...
hey, there are
Saying there isn't a lot of eyes.
there are insects in the ocean that have hundreds of eyes.
Insects in the ocean.
Well, they're called I'm not trying to pronounce.
Well, how
that.
many are there?
Hold on.
That's the thing, is there's just
There's
15
only-
quadrillion ants. You know how much that is?
I mean,
How
it's-
much? How much is like plankton? That's I guess only one.
But
What about
those have a
one
ton
eye?
of legs.
Plankton also have legs. Yeah, you're
Like shrimp have,
Do they have
what,
legs?
20 legs?
plankton and shrimp.
Yeah,
both have
those
legs,
little-
Yeah.
Those
Oh,
aren't
yeah, they
legs.
got,
Those
like,
are little.
shrimp
Those are
have a
feelers.
lot of legs.
Yeah, exactly. And they only have 2 eyes. And plankton, those things feed blue whales.
Oh, huge right here. The praying mantis, the wasp, and the bee each have 5 eyes?
5. They have 6 legs though.
Praying mantis?
Yeah.
I think that's more of like a.
It's still
like
legs.
little
Well,
hands.
these are
bees
legs.
and wasps don't have.
They have
They have
6.
6.
Yeah, so they're.
So that means
they
they're
have
a
one more
surplus
eye.
of 1.
Yeah, and guess what? There's so many.
Surplus of 1 leg for every single one of them though.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's probably
Surplus
more
of-
bees and wasps than there are total fish.
Right, but you put them together.
Bees
But
are-
that means you have surplus of 1. So if you're at 3.5 trillion, right? So 7 trillion eyes on average. If you count it, that's 2. How many bees and wasps are there? Because if you just that means there's a surplus of 1 leg.
Monarch
every eye.
butterfly has 12,000 eyes.
What?
That is a lot of eyes.
There
That-
it
A
is.
lot of butterflies.
That was our golden goose right there.
But there is the amount of them.
There's only
Still.
1.2 million.
Butterfly.
Oh wait,
Monarchs.
tough. There used to be 1.2 million in the 90s, and now today there's only 2,000.
Oh wow.
That
There's only
definitely-
2,000
Maybe we should talk about that.
We should.
that kind of
Well, yeah, the bees
brought
are
down the mood a
endangered
little
too.
bit.
Yeah, that's kind of sad.
That is, I didn't know that was.
Monarchs,
So if you
yeah,
see a
that's
monarch
kinda sad.
butterfly,
That's
you have a
actually pretty
blessed day.
rare, actually.
Yeah.
Huh.
And they migrate from here like all the way to Central America.
Yeah,
I
why
don't
don't they
know how
just
do
chill
that.
out?
That's something.
Why don't they just
I
chill
would
in
also
Central
wanna
America?
figure out.
Have you ever seen those pictures of a whole tree full of butterflies down like Mexico?
They're
and
so
South
cool.
America?
Like when they
Yeah.
It's
migrate,
really cool.
it's super
Looks
cool.
like the trees just moving with little
Mhm.
wings flapping.
No, absolutely, that's really cool.
This person's on Team Eyes that wrote a whole article.
Yeah, they're only focusing on.
But
Well,
they,
I mean,
they brought up the
Even
ant
2,000 times 12,000.
thing.
That's
They're basically
a
like
good amount
ants
of
are
eyes.
great, but think about it like this.
Yeah, but
What?
No, I'm
that's
just like that's
not
how the
even a
article was.
million.
Are they in like the same category as flies though? Are they compound?
I
Or
think
are they
flies
just-
have compound. Yeah, they're, you know,
Are butterflies compound
Is that
as well? Or are they
because
just
that's one of the main
12,000
things that
individuals?
is swaying me towards
What'd
legs.
what'd
is
you
that
say?
Compound eyes.
What'd you
those
say isn't
compound
even?
eyes are considered.
What'd you say isn't even a million?
I mean,
12,000 times 2,000?
It's like 24 million, isn't it?
No.
I don't know. I thought it would be in the hundreds
it
of
is.
thousands.
12,000.
Add the zeros.
12,000 plus 3 zeros.
You got a
That's
phone in your hand.
it's 1.2 million, I believe.
What is it?
No.
12,000
12,000
times
times.
12, or 2,000 times 12,000.
So it's 24 and then add 3 zeros at the end of 1,000.
24
so
million?
2.4 million. Is it 2.4 million?
24 million.
Or 24 million, yeah.
That still doesn't add up to.
Well,
No,
24
it's-
million,
it's the
you need a
answer.
lot of 24 millions to get into even 15 quadrillions.
Yeah, I mean that just helps our case though. You know.
Because you added 24 million eyes. That's in the grand scheme of how many
Butterflies
legs we're
don't have any
talking about.
legs. So
Yeah, they
Yes,
do.
They have
Hey,
6
monkeys. Monkeys only have 2
butterflies
legs.
don't they just have wings?
Legs. They have 6
I mean, they have
legs.
arms.
Monkeys only have
What
2
do you
legs.
think they just
They have
sit
two eyes.
It's not
along
limbs
the
versus
branches?
eyes.
Monkeys would be
humans
like
have 4.
humans.
They got
Yeah.
2 eyes and 2 legs.
They would
They cancel
cancel
each
out.
other out.
Yeah.
Yeah, monkeys.
Monkeys
only
are
have 2
just
legs.
humans.
Oh, yeah,
Like
it's
a
just, it
much
doesn't really help
airier.
me. I'm just saying it doesn't help you.
That's why I said I'm on team legs without the mammals.
Hmm.
As long as the compound eyes are not considered.
They're considering
like
spiders
12,000.
have 8 legs and 12 eyes. Up to 12 eyes.
Up to 12 eyes.
I
Dude,
mean, it's a surplus, but
What about octopus?
they don't count. That,
Because
They
I'm
have
pretty
legs.
sure those are legs.
those are
There's-
not
there's
legs.
tentacles.
Tentacles, but like, they can go on land. They're just kind of like jelly.
Why
They-
would
they don't have
tentacles not
bones.
be legs? That's my question.
Tentacles
Just
are not
because
legs.
you don't want them to be?
no, because
No,
they're
because
not.
they're not. Scientifically,
If they were legs,
they're
they'd be
not
called
They
legs.
can't stand on them. They don't support the body.
I would
I don't
imagine.
know.
they-
I bet they could support the body.
Have you
I don't
seen
think
Finding Dory? That octopus walks
Dude, it's suction
all
legs.
around. Yeah, he stands on those things.
Pixar movie. Yeah.
Wow.
It's not the best source, but it is something
So that
you
just
can
goes
go
to
off
show Tanner's terrible sources.
Yeah, right. I don't know if we can trust your other sources now.
of. I was.
Hey, should
I,
we talk?
I was making a joke.
Should we
on
talk
that one.
about other question?
Should we?
Athleticism.
I guess we could.
So Tyler,
We're gonna
over
need
here-
some comments in here on
Yeah.
some swaying factors. But what would you say your team eyes or legs?
I gotta go towards legs now because
There's
that's
a lot of
way too
insects,
many
man.
ants not to throw it into the equation.
I'm gonna be real with you, Jackson. I might be switching to team legs.
There's a lot of insects.
The
man.
ants get me.
You're folding.
I'm folding. I think the ocean's huge, and I stand by the ocean and fish, but
Well,
even the undiscovered fish.
I'm banking on that little insect in the ocean that has 12,000 eyes.
I know, but we we haven't discovered most of the Amazon still, and how many insects are in?
Yeah,
those-
but
that's
how many
kinda-
like
Dude, yeah, you're probably
reptiles,
right, but
amphibians,
we're never
or-
gonna know. But I'm just gonna stick with
We'll
eyes,
never
'cause
know.
You can't prove me wrong.
I should have done that. Dang it!
Yeah, now you look
Well,
now you look
Like a sellout.
yeah, you are. So.
Then we have a other interesting one that we were debating before we even got on the camera was which sport, or do you want to do the wrestling one?
No, just which sport in general.
Okay, which sport has the best athletes?
It mostly started because Tyler over here said that baseball players are the most athletic.
I think so.
I would like to say that because that's what I played in
Yeah,
college.
that's what you played.
But-
I played lacrosse. I'm not gonna say lacrosse.
guess maybe
players are the
it's
most
I've,
skewed.
I've
athletic.
met a lot of baseball players that aren't very athletic,
But
Yeah.
I've also
but
met a
are
lot.
very good at baseball.
Yeah.
I've met a lot of baseball players that are very good at other sports if you give them like for example, like you for example, if you play any sport, you give you like a week and you're probably pretty good at it.
But at the same time,
Baseball was your main sport, so I consider you a baseball player.
right?
You know what I'm
And
saying? I'd say
I think
more than half of baseball players you could throw into any sport and they could do fine. They're not going to be elite at it,
and that's where I
but
was,
athletic, like just because you're athletic doesn't mean you're like the best of the best. You know, athleticism in my mind is you can adapt and play whatever sport is on the table.
Well, when
You know
I
what I'm
think of
saying?
athleticism, it's like
Like not a lot of people you can take from a different sport and put them into baseball. It's just not going to work.
athleticism is just coordination and balance and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I mean there's
Speed,
a lot more
strength.
factors than that, but yeah, speed, strength, coordination, balance.
Speed and strength, not
IQ.
isn't like
Kinda.
a ton
You
of
could
like
argue that.
athleticism,
Sport, yeah, depending on the sport.
but because a lot of it, like let's say basketball or something like that,
It's hands down
You-
gotta be basketball.
I would say that. Because
I don't think hands down. I think it's close.
Compared to baseball, though, baseball's not even in my
Baseball,
top five.
Basketball players are.
I wouldn't even put baseball in
A
top
lot more
five,
athletic.
honestly.
Yeah,
There's a lot more people who play baseball too, which kind of skews the numbers to
Yeah, I mean-
half of the major leagues. But how many baseball players didn't even make it to the major leagues?
and I'd also say that
Right.
cricket players are more athletic than baseball players. Essentially the same
I haven't
concept.
really watched cricket much
Yeah, I can't
to
speak
watch
to cricket.
their athleticisms, but I would say soccer players are
Soccer
more
players.
athletic than
Yeah.
than
They're crazy
I
athletes.
disagree.
yeah.
Yeah, they
their
are.
their balance and coordination is much better
Vertical.
than baseball player.
Those
baseball
dudes
players.
be jumping.
Speed, endurance. I
Yeah,
mean,
you see Ronaldo, that dude was like a 50-inch vertical.
Dude's a
Yeah.
specimen. Have you seen that thing?
Soccer might be number 2.
His like head.
I saw that.
Like how
Where
high
people
it
try
is?
to
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, he's not like a crazy big dude.
No.
He's like hands down.
You
way
could
high.
toss football in the debate too if you like singled out a certain position. Like quarterbacks, no.
That is true.
they
But at the
have-
same time, you could do that with baseball. If you just went center fielders,
And or shortstops.
Right,
You know,
like-
like that's the thing is you pick
there's
one
definitely
position.
some positions in baseball where
Same
it's
thing
like,
with
you need
basketball,
a
though.
Crazy athlete.
You're not gonna-
That's where like basketball, you could say almost every player could play every sport.
I don't agree with that.
Some of the
you're
big
telling-
guys, it's like
The bigger guys like Shaq. Shaq's an anomaly. Shaq could
I
play.
he is
think
actually
Shaq
a very
is-
athletic
He's a very
guy, but
athletic
Yeah,
guy.
I think
but like
Shaq's
but
really
most
good
of
at
them who
golf.
are
some
like
of those
7
bigger,
foot,
clumsy guys, you know, like Charles Barkley. Have you seen him
There's
golf?
not a lot of
That
clumsy
is
guys.
painful to watch.
you call him clumsy, but I mean,
He's not clumsy.
these
Not-
people could probably
Shaq is a
mop the
different
floor.
breed, okay?
They're professional athletes still.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you seen Charles Barkley golf?
No.
It's
that
it's
does
painful to
that
watch.
does make my my basketball thing
One guy.
second guess. If his coordination of his understanding of
He's
how
a
his
Hall of
body is
Famer.
moving, it's pretty tough.
He's a Hall of Fame basketball player.
Because
And
when
if
you
you
think
watch
of-
him golf, you would think that he is.
We can't just compare it to golf. Maybe.
Well, when you think of
But just-
athleticism, you have to understand like how your body is moving,
Right.
Without like actually seeing it and everything too. And when your swing is that bad, you have to like have some kind of understanding of how your body's supposed to be moving.
Right, and yeah, like I said, I mean, yeah, Charles Barkley he's an anomaly, but I would think.
Yeah.
He was.
Is York in?
Yark is not in at the moment.
Okay. I got some,
Yeah, I think. You got some paper?
yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. I still think that baseball players get a bad rep. Because I mean, yes, there's a lot. So I mean, that 50% doesn't mean a ton. But I mean, the NBA's got the G League, so you got two or three
Oh,
separate leagues.
basketball.
and Europe, all these different
Basketball
basketball
doesn't have a lot of athletes.
I'm not saying they're not
Think how
athletes.
many people play basketball for fun, like not being like ever playing for high school or just like recreational basketball. Like
Yeah, there's some good ones. There's also
Well-
some stinkers.
boys in the neighborhood get together and play basketball.
Right.
It
It's
has
not.
nothing to do with athleticism. I'm just saying like a lot of people play basketball.
You
Yeah.
even like brought them into the equation, but what about like multi-sport Olympic athletes? Those are some of the most athletic people on the planet.
Yeah, that's a different.
This is a different breed of human being.
Those type of people are never playing baseball.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
They're also probably never playing basketball, depending on their Olympic sport.
But I bet they're good at basketball.
I bet they could play
I
it.
I bet they could play both.
I mean,
But-
I
I
bet they could do any of them.
wouldn't think that an Olympic runner is going to be like
Good
all
at
that
basketball.
amazing with basketball.
No,
I know a
like-
couple runners that aren't super athletic, personally.
I feel like
One of them is very close to this company. So, she's not the most athletic.
she's definitely gonna see this.
She will, for sure. And
You say she's a good runner, not very athletic. or-
she's a phenomenal runner.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking
But
about.
it's just she is...
I think I
But I mean,
filmed
if
her
you're
wedding.
talking Olympic athletes, we're not just talking about runners.
No, I know.
Yeah, there's a lot more.
But I mean,
people that do,
running's a
like-
big part of the Olympics.
what about that sport where they like do a marathon, but then also have a gun and like
Yeah.
triathlon or whatever?
They, like,
it's considered.
Cross country ski with a gun.
Yeah, it's
and
like
they have to like
yeah,
do
dude,
some
those
other
dudes are
sport, too.
athletic. If you can run a marathon and shoot a gun straight, I think that's.
That's true, yeah, that's...
Pretty
I don't
impressive.
think it's a marathon, but it's a long.
They cross country ski.
Yeah,
I think it's a winter sport.
it was a winter sport, so it's
I know
not running.
it's...
Biathlon?
No.
I don't know
Well,
what it's
maybe.
called.
I don't remember what it's called, but...
What about swimmers? Are they very athletic?
Swimmers are underrated, I feel like.
I didn't say they're not athletic. I
I know,
still
I'm
rank
just-
them above baseball.
They're
Divers?
athletic, but I don't know about like hand-eye coordination. I don't know
Actually,
if
yeah.
they-
I don't know if I'd say they're athletic.
Yeah.
They're
I
in
know.
water,
Just
so it's
based
not
off
like they need to
swimmers,
be-
I know.
But like
Actually, I
Tam knows,
also
when you
do
think
know.
of athleticism, like you can control like your body and you know how your body moves, stuff like that. I'd say the average baseball's probably not one. I will back that, but I think it is top 5. I think you do have to be pretty athletic to be good at baseball.
You have to be.
You gotta have good hand-eye coordination.
Yes, you have
What
to know
else?
how your body works to be good at baseball.
play
And
at
you
high
guys brought
level.
up mental. Well, if we're taking mental into
Bro,
it,
I never played baseball.
I'll put baseball back in number 1.
I barely played. I played t-ball as a kid. That's it. That's where my baseball career ends. And I could pick up and play baseball like that.
You could not.
Well, not like at a high level, but I can hit a ball and catch a ball and stuff like that. Like,
I don't know about that, sir.
alright, well,
I'm just saying, if you want to conclude, because earlier you had mentioned
I wonder
that
what sport you played in high school.
athletic me, I played baseball,
That
basketball.
was a joke.
But, like I said, if you bring the mental aspect into it, that's what baseball is. So if you bring I'm going back to baseball.
So then golf's in the debate.
I mean, there's some pretty athletic golfers
Well,
out
of
there.
cour是. I bet Tiger Woods is pretty athletic.
I bet he is. Yeah.
Or when he was younger, at least.
Yeah,
I bet
mean,
he could ball.
before his legs were kind of
Yeah.
messed up. But
Yeah.
no, I don't know. If you consider the mental aspect into athleticism as well, I think baseball is easily top 5. If you don't, then it probably falls out of the top 5.
See what Google says. It's always fun. It's
Most
obviously they're going to
athletic
say
sport.
Yeah.
Athletic probably is
What's-
more physical.
What sport produces the best athletes?
But yeah, that could have been a good question too, for the people.
They-
If you want to
they-
comment,
Their
yeah.
argument for baseball is, well, there says something for every sport, but for baseball it says baseball players may have the greatest hand-eye coordination in the world.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
That's
hit,
fact.
that was your argument.
Be able to hit a ball like this big that's coming in at usually around 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
These days, yeah. But also, if you can throw, you see people.
They have
that
an
throw.
argument for every sport.
Do
So
they?
tell me a sport you want me to read.
Let's see what's basketball.
Rugby. We didn't even talk about that.
They're really good athletes too.
Dude, yeah,
They're
that's-
nuts.
I think
They
they're-
are
yeah.
nuts. Speed, endurance, hitting in rugby. They have an argument for lacrosse on here. Fastest game on 2 feet. 2 feet.
Lacrosse?
It is.
I don't know about that.
What do you
Dude, you
mean?
can move the ball faster than you can in soccer, and it's another sport that'd be in comparison. Hockey's not on 2 feet. That's
What
considered
is the
skates.
argument for soccer? Kind of want to know.
Yeah, that's a good.
Soccer for athleticism. Oh, cricket.
Nice. We'll do that one next.
Cricket. Those people
Dude,
are
they're-
kind
oh,
of.
maybe
I mean, they do make some. I've seen a couple top plays. In my day from
Soccer.
cricket. They're pretty
I
sweet.
have no idea
Yeah.
how the game works, but
Right.
they're pretty good athletes.
I worked at it for intramurals. We had intramural
Oh,
cricket.
the
and
argument
I
for
tried to
soccer
learn.
kind of goes against it. It's just like you're only using your lower body, unless you're.
That's what I'm saying.
Goalie.
For athleticism.
We were talking when you were away. We were talking about if we include the mental aspect into it. Because if I think,
No.
I think if you
Not in
if
athleticism.
you include a mental aspect in athleticism, I think baseball's top 5, if not number 1.
You know what? I changed my answer. Lacrosse players are the most athletic.
No, stop.
You're just
You guys
doing
know
this
nothing
again
about
because you
lacrosse,
can't
that's the
prove me
thing.
wrong.
I do know some stuff about lacrosse. Not a lot. I won't. I will not pretend I know a lot. But
I mean,
You didn't know it was the fastest game on 2 legs. Fastest sport on
Like,
2 feet.
On average, like how fast a
There's the
person's
way the
moving.
game, the momentum of the game is fastest. Not like speed of individual players.
Well, that kind of puts a
Oh,
little
jeez.
athleticism in there. Is how fast the person's actually going.
Yeah, but imagine running full speed, catching a ball, hand-eye coordination, and shooting at the net full speed.
I'm not gonna
I
lie.
think it's pretty
I
athletic.
played lacrosse for
Sounds like
a
baseball.
total of an hour in my experience, and it was pretty easy.
You probably were sitting passing your yard.
Yeah, and I could do it in.
I
a
could
full
say the same thing about baseball. I'm throwing a baseball back and forth with my dad catching it.
Yeah,
That's
I know,
no different.
But that's
There's
where
a lot of other
I'm not
aspects.
claiming baseball to be the most athletic sport.
No, it was kind of a joke. You're just looking at the article. I don't think
But
it's
yeah.
lacrosse.
I've tried lacrosse, and I don't think it would take the most athleticism. For
What
for
I
a
looked
sport.
up was what
Soccer
sport
is honestly
produces
like
the
one
best
that
athletes.
I would say soccer has to be one of them because you have to have incredible coordination to do some of the
some of the things.
stuff that they do.
I don't know. I think on average, I don't think
You need
it would
really
be
good
soccer.
balance. And
I think the
everything,
best
too.
soccer players in the world are incredible athletes, but I think the average soccer player is an average athlete. Like you give me Messi, you give me Ronaldo, you give me whatever Neymar is his name. I don't know if he's still
Yeah.
good or not.
I think. It's pretty bad.
But
I don't think someone like that just becomes bad.
right, like you give those people, okay, yeah, those guys are incredible athletes, but they're also the top of their relative sport. That goes back to baseball. You bring in Byron Buxton, you bring in, Mike Trout, you bring in
I would still
Acuna,
take
you bring in all those.
I would take the soccer players' best athletes over the baseball players' best athletes.
That's actually a good way to look at it. If you just grab a handful
like
of
the
players from
top
each sport
5.
and compare them, I'd still say basketball.
I would say basketball's right up there.
I'd say it's up there, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think soccer's number 1. I'd take basketball.
I
over
would say
soccer.
soccer's top 3 for me, and then I
Soccer's
took
top-
basketball was my under what I
I
thought
still
was probably going to
baseball's
be.
top 5.
What about
Oh.
let's just say basketball.
I mean,
That's
even if you take the
pretty
top,
obvious.
the top people, the one people I just said, every single one of them is an incredible athlete.
well, of course.
yeah, if we're taking the top 5 from every sport, they're all going to be incredible athletes.
Right.
But which one would we be able to transfer over to a different sport and still perform at a high level?
That's basketball.
I don't think soccer could do that. What sport? Have you ever seen a soccer player?
Actually, soccer
play
play
any
with
other
their
sport?
hands.
But you also have
Like I said, anything that involves their hand, like sure, put a soccer player
In kickball.
in kickball, they'll be great. And can you think of a sport that overall you have to have coordination in both your arms and your legs?
yeah.
At the same time. Because baseball, it's upper body. Soccer is lower body. So each one has a different kind of athleticism.
And that's
Is
why I think you have to take the person in it
Right.
and consider that. And that's why I go with basketball, is because I think they could transition to just based off of their ability to handle their body,
Yeah.
their motions,
I see that. Yeah.
and just overall being able to convert into other stuff. I would have to say
Basketball players' control of their body is insane.
Exactly. That's
But-
kind of what because you have to have incredible coordination for hand-eye coordination
Mhm.
and just coordination
Everything.
in general. And then also you have to be very good at balance, all that
Mhm.
stuff.
See,
in
basketball,
that
you're using every aspect of what makes someone athletic.
That's kind of why I
Yeah.
was going with basketball. Is
And you can't say it for a lot of other sports.
No, especially, unfortunately, not baseball. Because
You could say
Baseball
for
is-
some.
if
some
you just
position-
have incredibly good
Like I
hand-eye
said.
coordination, You don't need to have any other coordination really,
Yeah.
because if you can hit a double, you're going to be a Major League Baseball player if you can hit a double off of anyone. And all you need to do for that is have good hand-eye coordination and decent swing timing.
Yeah, I
That
suppose.
makes baseball sound so lame when you say that.
I know, but it's
It
really
is
not.
lame, but
It's-
because of that. But it
Base-
is
a
also
lot of
the
baseball
hardest
is-
thing to do is that.
yeah, the
because-
hardest thing in the world is to hit a baseball.
Yeah,
It's
for
proven
a
fact.
professional pitcher.
Well, hardest thing in sports.
Sports, not in the world. Yeah, that's in the world.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
In the
Hardest thing
world.
ever.
Hardest thing ever. No, hardest thing in sports for
Yeah.
sure. But like you said, it's not. It's more hand-eye coordination. and
It's not
soccer's
sheer
more
athletic ability
foot-eye
is why you're.
coordination.
Yeah.
So it's. I think that's basketball probably has to be. You know.
Because some of the best hitters I've seen are some of the most unathletic people.
What's the
too.
average speed of a pitch in the MLB?
These days,
Average
Yeah.
speed?
like
93?
96, I'd say. I'd say
Well,
it's up.
If you're talking about average fastball.
Just,
Yeah, probably.
yeah, like
Average fastball, probably like 96.
96, but average speed, I'd say like 90.
Yeah, 90 probably. You get change-ups and everything in
Yeah.
there and curveballs.
But yeah, average
Sliders.
average fastball, you're looking at 96, but the movement on fastballs alone these days has went from. There's some people that can throw fastballs with almost a foot of break.
That's the craziest part.
It's just like,
what? Yeah.
how do you hit that? Like you see some of these pitches these guys are throwing, you're just like,
Which leads into another debate of
Or, yeah,
who's the best hitter and stuff of all time. Because
you could go.
there
somewhere.
hasn't been a single person in the, last 15, 20 years who, probably maybe even more than 20 years, that has batted over 400.
Yeah, I don't think it's been a long time.
But back in the day,
yeah,
like Ty Cobb did it like 4 or 5
same
times.
thing with pitchers. You know,
It's like, is Ty Cobb just that much better of a hitter? Or is it just pitching that's got that much better?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think pitching has gotten faster.
It's got
I don't
faster.
know if it's gotten better. That's the only problem. It's
Yeah.
it's just faster, and it's still the same distance. So, the human brain can only process certain things in a certain speed. If the ball's coming at you 104 miles an hour, you're probably aiming from 90 feet away.
I'm not hitting it.
I'm not in it.
Well,
Probably won't even see it before it hits the glove.
we'll think of a couple more debates.
Yeah.
Do this every once
but
in a while.
let's hear some comments and everything like that to see what you're thinking, as well as what topics you would like to hear us theorize in our own brains
Right.
of what is better, or what side we would be on for a certain debate.
Mhm.
But I don't think we'll get a real answer on either one of these topics. So
No.
I think it's a good time to call it and say thank you for tuning in, and see you next time.